Volvo is on a mission to go completely electric by the year 2030, and what you're looking at beside me is their very first bespoke all-electric vehicle coming to the US early next year. I'm at the 2023 Consumer Electronics Show, and this right here is the 2024 Volvo EX90. Let's take a first look. So the first thing I want to point out, I want to apologize for all the background noise. We're here at the Consumer Electronics Show, and they're still in the midst of setting everything up for the media day tomorrow. But now that we finally have the new EX90 in the sheet metal, I want to talk about where this vehicle is going to be in the lineup. First of all, this is not a replacement for the XC90. Volvo will actually sell the two vehicles side by side, but this is going to be the start of their new bespoke series of all-electric vehicles, electric crossovers, perhaps even an electric sedan. Of course, they won't talk about future product. But before we start talking about the styling, I do want to mention this vehicle does have a frunk. This is a very early model, basically. It's not even a production car or a pre-production car. There is a frunk, but I can't open it to show you, but this vehicle will launch in the US with dual electric motors as standard. It'll have one battery pack, a 111 kilowatt hour with 107 kilowatts usable. Volvo actually already said that in the Swedish market or in Europe, this will have a range of 600 kilometers WLTP. That translates to around 372 miles for WLTP. Volvo is going to basically say they're targeting a 300-mile range. Power will range from either 402 horsepower for the twin charge all the way up to 496 for the performance version. 0 to 60 times should be between 5.7 to 4.7 seconds. This vehicle will actually accept a maximum of 250 kilowatts for DC fast charging, even though this runs on the 400 volt architecture. So you can go from 10 to 80% in roughly 30 minutes. So those are some very impressive specs, but let's go ahead and talk about the styling of this car, because first of all, when you look at the new EX90, you might even think that this is just an XC90 that's gone electric. The styling is very Volvo. You have the signature corporate look with the Volvo logo at the front. No grille, obviously, because it's an electric vehicle. And then the headlights, you can see this is the signature Thor's Hammer pixel LED headlights. And they do an interesting trick. You can see they actually open and close. That's actually a motor inside the headlight to reveal the pixel LED or the LED low and high beam, which is a really cool detail. It kind of reminds me of those pop-up headlights from the 90s and 80s, but in a modern version because this is all sealed off. You have more of the pixel LEDs that extend down here into the lower front fascia. And then down here you can see there are some active grille shutters and whatnot. It's a very clean look. And again, it goes with Volvo's next generation of their design philosophy. And I think that the company's done a really great job. Now, this model here is also painted in vapor gray. They're calling it their hero color. It's a new color. And what you're probably noticing is this vehicle is very wide. It's built on a new platform called the SPA2. So it's the next generation SPA platform. It's designed to accommodate only an electric powertrain. This wasn't built with an internal combustion engine in mind. And this is actually sharing a platform with the Polestar 2. So the Polestar 2 is going to be a smaller vehicle. This is going to be a 3-row vehicle. So it's, again, going to be a larger car to accommodate the fact that it has a standard third row. Now, looking at the side profile, you can see this is a big vehicle. It has a wheelbase of around 117.5 inches long. That's the same length as the XC90. However, the overall length is 198 inches long. It's about 3.5 inches longer, about the same height, but at around 80 inches wide, this model is actually around 5 inches wider versus the XC90. So again, it's going to give you more interior space. Now, I want to mention a couple things. First of all, the wheels. You can see this model here, being a show car, has a 22-inch wheel wrapped in a 265/40 R22-inch wheel. This is actually a staggered setup. At the rear, it's a 295, which is the biggest that I've ever seen on a Volvo vehicle. And the wheel has this really interesting design. You can see there's no center cap here. Instead, Volvo puts like their logo along the spoke over here, along with this kind of directional pattern. There's also an aero cover. This is a really interesting wheel design. I think Volvo did a really great job with filling out the wheel wells, because remember, this is a very, very large vehicle. Looking around the rest of the profile, you can see on the roof over there, that is a LiDAR camera. That's going to be standard on every model of the EX90. What it basically does is it combines 8 cameras, 5 radars, and 16 ultrasonic sensors, and it gives this vehicle the ability to do an unsupervised drive at some point, which is technically level 3 autonomy. It won't launch with that. It'll have Volvo's pilot assist, but again, that's all going to be in the name for safety. Volvo's always been known for safety. Now, you're probably noticing it also has these door handles that pop in and out. This is the first time I'm seeing these flush door handle design. That's all part of the aerodynamics that Volvo is going for. You can see the side mirror here has this kind of black painted side mirror here with the interior turn signal. You can see the door handle there pops in and out. As you approach the vehicle with the key, it'll pop out. When you unlock it, it'll also pop pop out and it'll retract to give you that nice finish. You can see here's one of the cameras for the 8 cameras around the vehicle. And then looking at the rest of the profile, you can see this is a very early prototype model, but I do like the fact that it has kind of like a boxier shape with a panoramic glass roof, which again lets in a lot more light into the cabin. Looking at the rear, you can see, unfortunately, I can't open up the trunk. Remember, very early show car. However, it's got a newer design language here that I really like. First of all, it spells out Volvo at the back. You have this kind of C shape for the LED taillight design, along with the typical LED accent that goes up into the actual pillar back here at the rear, which is what Volvos are known for. And then, of course, there's the EX90 badge. Now, some of you are wondering, where does the name EX90 come? Well, first of all, I'm assuming EX would have to stand for something electric, perhaps electric crossover. 90 is the series where it fits in the lineup, so this is going to be, of course, the flagship model of the EX90 family, which kind of opens up the potential for Volvo to do perhaps an EX60 or an EX40. But overall, let me know in the comment section below what you think of the design. I think that this car definitely has the kind of looks that you want in the premium segment. And remember, it's one of the few vehicles out there that is an electric vehicle that also comes standard with 3 rows. So moving on to the interior, Volvo asked me not to sit in this car because remember, it is a very early show car, model car. So what you're seeing here will likely change when the production version goes into production later at the end of this year. But obviously when you look at this interior, you're gonna notice quite a few things. Volvo does really beautiful interiors, and I'm really loving what they're doing here with the seats. This is kind of a combination of a wool with a Nordico leather-like material. This is all recycled materials. Volvo is really good about doing kind of this like recycled wool that has a really high quality feel, along with this color combination, this combo with the Nordico. It is a really beautiful looking interior, especially when you start looking at the dash. First of all, Volvo kind of needed to upgrade their infotainment systems. They started out, of course, with Sensus Connect all those years ago with a 9-inch display. How's this for an upgrade? You can see the center display there is now 14.5 inches. It is powered by the latest Google Android operating based system. It includes features like wireless CarPlay, for example, and of course, Android Auto. And then you also have a smaller helper screen here in the instrument panel, along with a lot of other beautiful touches. I love the steering wheel with these kind of touch sensitive controls. It's got this really nice leather covering the wheel as well. You also have the same kind of stitch material over the dash. There's also cameras in the vehicle that kind of watch the driver. There's a camera over there, a camera over here. That's all part of the driver monitoring system that works with the LiDAR, because remember, this vehicle will eventually offer an unsupervised drive, unsupervised pilot assist. That's what Volvo technically calls it. Along with a lot of other great technologies. You can see this screen here. I love how it's a portrait-oriented display, and it also basically includes the latest Google Android operating system. I'll have to show you guys what this screen is like to use when I finally get my hands on an actual production model, but I love other touches here, like this beautiful light wood grain trim with the volume knob over here, a wireless phone charging pad, a lot of great storage options here. You can see there are some cup holders right here. You have this really nice center console area, along with a storage bin down over here. And overall, let me know what you guys think of the look. I think this is a really nice evolution of the XC90, but of course bringing it up to a more modern level with all of the improvements they've made for the infotainment system. This Bowers & Wilkins stereo, also Volvo says, has 25 speakers. So I haven't heard it, but again, it's gonna go head to head with some of the best systems that you find from its competitors. But let's go ahead and look into the back seat. Now remember, this car will come standard with 3 rows of seats, which is going to be a really unique entry. Currently, there's only the Tesla Model X, the Tesla Model Y, the Rivian R1S, and the Mercedes EQS SUV that offers a 3rd row. So again, the EX90 is going to be another vehicle to offer that. You can see the back seat here has that same kind of wool material with the synthetic leather combination. It looks fantastic here. You can see, I'm not entirely sure if Volvo will offer captain's chairs, but I like the fact that they have 3 across here. There's also a little armrest here that folds down and gives you 2 cup holders. These seats will fold out of the way. There's also heated seats back here, along with rear seat vents. I like how the floor is also completely flat, which again is going to help you when you have 3 people across. And then above me, you can see here a massive glass roof that includes a very dark tint to it. I don't believe this is going to open. Remember, this is a really early prototype, but I love how it goes from the front all the way almost into the 3rd row. It really lets in a lot of light, which is going to be great. And then when you want to get into the 3rd row here, you can see this is really early prototype model, but you can see this is going to be probably reserved for kids, but from the looks of it, it looks to me like it has more space versus the EQS SUV. That's really the only vehicle that I can compare it to. But overall, for those of you who've been wanting a 3-row electric crossover, this is one that you're going to want to seriously take a look at when it goes on sale early next year. So as you can see, a lot of the crowd and the construction noise cleared out. So I wanted to show you guys again a little bit more of a clearer view of the front end. Personally, for me, I think this is a beautiful looking SUV. It's basically got that signature Swedish execution that I expect from Volvo. The design is certainly striking. The interior has a lot of the tech features that buyers are going to want. The powertrain specs underneath the front also are impressive. Nearly 500 horsepower on the performance model, 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, and Volvo is targeting at least 300 miles of range. And as you guys see from the rest of the look of this car, a lot of people may actually confuse this for an electric XC90, but I assure you again, the XC90 is here to stay, so this is going to be an addition. Now, if you guys are looking to get your hands on the new EX90, first of all, this vehicle's production will be in South Carolina. That's right, Volvo will be building this at their plant in South Carolina. Production is going to start at the end of this year with deliveries in the US starting in early 2024. And Volvo actually already announced pricing. They basically said you can get a very well-equipped middle trim. They haven't announced the full trim packaging, and it'll be around $80,000. Now, Volvo did that, of course, because if you guys want to qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit, first of all, it has to be built in the US, which it is, or built in North America, which it is, and the price has to be under $80,000 if it's an SUV, which again, if Volvo can accomplish this, I think it's going to be a really excellent addition. You can actually go ahead and go to Volvo's website now and pre-order these. You can put it down a $500 refundable deposit. You can basically put your name on the list for to be built in later this year, and then taking delivery in early 2024. And I think that eventually when we get our hands to drive one of these things, I'm really excited because, as you guys know, as the electric SUV segment continues to grow, we're gonna get more and more options. And if you wanted a 3-row luxury SUV that was also electric, before you didn't really have that many options, but I think that once this car goes on sale, it'll be one hot new addition. And I think Volvo did a really great job with the styling. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the 2024 Volvo EX90. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews. Like us on Facebook. And as always, guys, please be sure to hit that subscribe button so you're notified for all the latest videos we do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.